Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brine and Blight. This is our original Underwater Revolution Cypher System campaign, brought to you by all these wonderful people here, and especially TricksyWizard, the daring duo of Adam and Trout. Before we hop back into our story, I'd like to remind you of who everyone is and where you can find them, and maybe they can give you a little reminder of who they're playing tonight. And we'll start off with Kappa Chris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kappa. Christian's okay, and also encouraged too. You can find me on Twitter and Hive at the Kappa Chris. And today I am playing Risubi, the perceptive warrior who needs no weapon. He is a mantis shrimp with giant, boxing fists, and he talks like Optimus Prime. I don't know. That's
Excellent. Thank you. Next, we have Z.
Hey, I am Z. I am Zach Devs on Twitter. I have other socials, but once again, I forgot to send them to Stella, so I'll find them out later because I don't know them off the top of my head. Ironically, today I am playing a sharp-eyed adept who fuses mind and machine named Calliope, a former Valthuran biomedical android. So we'll see what happens with them.
Excellent. Thank you. And next we have That J Justice.
Hi, I'm Jay. I do cosplay and game dev and fun stuff. You might have seen me on PlayStation's channel today talking about accessibility on Horizon Forbidden West. Woo. I am also on That J Justice on all the things, Twitter. I think I'm just J Justice on Hive, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And I'm playing as Bahari, a creative adept who exists partially out of phase. She is a manta ray mermaid who's also a scientist. And occasionally her science may get a little mad, but it's mostly very well contained. She's trying.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Stella Luna. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time at the channel, please consider giving us a follow. That is a free way that you'll get notifications for when we go live, and it's also a way you can support us. Today, I'll be playing Berengaria. I am a kind speaker who controls beasts, and I just realized that my dear friend... there's supposed to be a baby shark on the overlay right here, but it seems to have disappeared. I have a small companion named Frisbee, and I'm sure they'll appear at some point in the near future when Stella has a moment to push a few buttons. But we'll pass it on over to TricksyWizard. Let's start off with Trout.
Hi, my name is Trout. My partner Adam and I make TricksyWizard comics. You can find us at TricksyWizard basically on all the socials, Twitter, Hive, Instagram, Tumblr. TricksyWizard.com is a little under construction right now, but it's coming back after we make it make sense again. And today, actually, we announced our Kickstarter with Maychain Press is going live on January 16th for a card game called Witchy Cakes. And we really hope you all check it out because we're so excited to finally talk about it in real. And my character is Bunk, a brash sniper who's wanted by the law. They are a blue-tongued skink cowboy lizard folk who isn't from around here, and their backstory is both chaotic and mysterious and involving people in a lot of stuff they didn't sign up for. That's my role in the game.
Excellent. And we'll pass it over to Adam.
Hey there, I'm Adam. I'm the other half of TricksyWizard. Like Trout basically covered in extensive detail, where you can find us on all the socials. But yes, just to reiterate, we did get to announce finally at long last our upcoming Kickstarter for Witchy Cakes with Mage Hand Press, the towering game of cakes and chaos. So get excited. It's coming to Kickstarter on the 16th of January. But yeah, I will be running everything else. I am all of the other people in tonight's game. So without further ado, what do you say we want to dive back in?
We are all adults that did that.
I am buzzing excited to do this, y'all.
All right. We open on one of the many concentric circular boulevards at the heart of Marabas, the epicenter of public life in the seafloor capital. The workday is wound down to a close once more, the economic machinery running tirelessly, even after everything that's happened in the week since the explosion at the parade grounds. The streets are still awash in the same gleaming neon as always. Private submersibles still speed by in the slipstream express lanes. The municipal sea tram still makes its nightly rounds, albeit with heavy delays to allow for frequent security checkpoints. As the clock ticks over to 6 p.m., dozens upon dozens of display screens mounted across the various tide scrapers and storefronts, all synchronized to the same broadcast. Tense, driving music kicks in as there are video clips, ominous video clips showing carefully edited footage of chaos at the parade grounds, ink-dark smoke rising from the silhouette of a coralite reactor, and a voice rings out accompanying the footage. Breaking news tonight, tensions at the Metropolitan Coralite Refinery have reached their boiling point, leading to rising fears over violence and possible citywide energy shortages. As the capital buzzes with rumors of terrorist threats, Crown Prince Urati Lascaris declares a state of emergency, citing an abundance of caution in light of recent seditious activity. Meanwhile, the chaos in Dorsal District threatens to spill over into wider Marabas, leading Imperial Viceroy Cadmus Kyrulis to pledge the full support of the Valthuran Navy to the peacekeeping effort. Over 1,000 Marines stand at alert as Valthuran negotiators make ready to support the refinery management. Our team is on site with Reactor Beta Director Nihilus DeRay. The footage fades to a static shot of a news desk, at which two anchors are seated, a merfolk man with impeccably coiffed violet hair and wearing pristinely tailored garments in the imperial style of surface dwellers, and a Valthuran woman in a fashionably altered diving suit and breather mask. Good evening and welcome back. I'm Rel Antibar.
And I'm Almaban.
And this is Marabas Tonight. As we come on the air, fully 40% of Marabas citizens have received notice that their residences, places of employment, or social gathering spaces have been placed under heightened security oversight and protection, as fears over possible labor riots in the northern Dorsal District set the city's teeth on edge.
That's right, Rel. As if the heinous attack that soured last week's triumphal parade wasn't bad enough, sources from within the Oasis have confirmed that the recent failed attempt to sabotage the Metropolitan Coralite Refinery's beta reactor has emboldened seditious actors and labor agitators who have since redoubled their efforts, urging further outbursts and threatening wider action.
Our sources can neither confirm nor deny the identities of the outside agitators, although they did inform us that as yet, they have not ruled out the possibility of Dorovesian spies. We have an exclusive interview with Agatha Ferris, the Valthuran Chief of Transit Security, coming up, but first, could we be looking at choppy waters at the stormy season as it approaches? For more, we go to Zodok at the weather desk. Zodok, how's it looking out there? And then a screen wipe transitions the broadcast over to a weather desk, which is basically just a green screen with a single starfish just kind of stuck to it, but he's wearing a clip-on tie. The starfish just kind of slowly scuttles from right to left before kind of releasing a few tiny bubbles from its undercarriage, and there's just a raucous response. Sounds like we better batten down the hatches. And the broadcast just kind of continues as we turn our attentions elsewhere. There's, the consent manufacturing machine may never sleep, but for our would-be revolutionaries, time is much more precious. Because tonight, after all, is the night. In a matter of hours, you'll be bringing to bear all of the preparation, all of the resources, all of the connections and skills you've honed over the past, basically almost a month now, in order to take your first carefully aimed strike at the Valthuran occupation and its puppet prince. But before we reconvene to go over the final plan, let's check back in with each of you to see if there's anything new that you're bringing to the table. Berengaria, we'll go ahead and start with you.
All right.
After a surprise visit from a Valthuran police detective went completely off the rails when you dropped a military flashbang and swam like hell, you found yourself and your adorable shark companion, Frisbee, relocated by necessity to the basement of the Lonely Light. It's a dingy bar turned rebel hideout in the North End slums. So bearing in mind that you're a person of interest in relation to at least one criminal investigation, what have you been doing to adjust to your new circumstances?
Well, I have been trying to help out as much as I can at the Lonely Light. It's the least that I can do now that I've been given space there. And I have learned how to properly operate the lily slinging machine. Yeah, I'm very good at making bubbles now. And I've managed to encourage some of the local sea creatures to help dust as much as can be done inside of a place like this.
So you're kind of, you're becoming the best tenant that Rhoda has ever had, basically is what you're describing to me right now.
Oh, and I cook breakfast first thing in the morning. It's not very good, but I'm trying.
It's the thought that counts, and honestly, you're building a new skill, and we have to, we stand somebody who's really just bringing new skills to bear. So, really,
kelp?
you kind of
Again?
Rhoda has been just so gracious about accepting. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Vangaria. I do. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it to the front. I'm gonna enjoy it at the bar because I got a lot to do. But thank you so much, honey. That's so great.
Don't worry, there's a lot more coming. There's some kelp pie, and there's kelp cakes. Small. I've cut them into little starfish.
I can't wait to try all those, and I also can't wait for you to find all the other ingredients that we got back in the kitchen. Because I gotta tell you,
there's more.
I feel like you're mastering kelp, but I feel like there's a whole wide world there for you.
Oh, can we do that later this afternoon?
Oh, sure. If there's time, yeah, sure. I'll just be out. Okay. So Trout, you.
I just have to know, is this conversation taking place while like 50 bottom feeder fish are like sucking the scum off the radiators inside this bar? Like this way too many fish.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
This is going to be gleaming.
You have summoned an entire school of them to just do like a deep floor cleaning.
Yeah, I'm like,
So pretty safe to say that in the lead up to you and your companions' sort of like first foray into crimes, you've kind of been keeping your head down, keeping a low profile, right?
Yeah, as much as I can.
Well, Bahari, in contrast to Berengaria, whose personal life and professional life and basically everything has been thrown into disarray after the flashbang incident. You've still been playing the part of the diligent corporate scientist by day, right?
Yep.
So the aquatic R&D labs at the Oasis complex have maintained an atmosphere of just kind of simmering anxiety. The sort of normal friendly banter among coworkers is all but dried up. And everyone's become more and more preoccupied with just kind of hitting their productivity metrics. But with the pressure on and the night of your first coordinated bit of, like direct action approaching, did you make any attempts at maybe securing some resources, maybe making some contacts, doing anything else that might make the job more doable?
Bahari has been thinking about how best to ascertain if there's anyone else here who has a slightly higher clearance level that also feels the same way about what's happening, who has seen the data and does not have the ability to just ignore it. But it's really hard to ask the questions that need to be asked in a way that doesn't also play your own hand and reveal your cards before you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So picture Bahari in the cafeteria looking around. She almost always eats alone, but this one time she's going to go try to sit with other people and see what happens. Just there's one other person in the corner who's sitting alone. And Bahari's gonna try to see.
Yeah. So there's a certain other there's an overachiever who works over in photosynthetics, Deborah. Now Deborah is well known in throughout sort of office politics as the sort of like idealist, but somebody who is primarily concerned with just kind of excelling in her field. She is if I remember correctly, I think we decided that she was a merfolk, but with the sort of her lower half was almost like seahorse-like. Now, so Deborah's very, bit of a social butterfly and definitely has a lot of like, surface level office friendships, but is also definitely the object of a lot of jealousy and a little bit of ire from people who are always like kind of just seething in the corner. Like, I just gotta get one over on Deborah from photosynthetics. So let's say on this particular day, you decide to take your chances and there's just a deafening silence as you take your seat next to Deborah, who was in the middle of clearly like doing something very like solitary. Like she was like, she has her sort of tablet kind of in front of her and just kind of scrolling through, just like definitely a working lunch, and it's just kind of like just popping little bites while she's kind of scrolling through and just brow furrowed, and basically does not seem to take notice of your presence at all.
Bahari settles in, leans over and says, "You're gonna work all the way through lunch?"
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Hi. Yes, that was the plan. I'm running so behind. I have some culture scoring right now.
I refuse to believe that you are ever behind at all when it comes to your work, because the way you apply yourself is admirable, frankly.
You're too kind. No, this isn't about metrics. This is for me. I have. I've had the new set of cultures growing over the past 3 days, and if I don't get literally all of this handled in the next 3 hours, then I'm gonna miss my window. So,
well, I'd hate to distract you from something that's so important to you, but at the same time, I couldn't help but want to talk to someone of your skill and acuity about something that's important to me.
Go ahead and let's go with an intellect task, just difficulty 2, because you're a coworker and you're making friendly small talk. Let's do a pleasant social interaction here. So target number of 6.
Okay.
First roll back from break.
First roll in weeks. Yeah.
First roll in weeks, yeah.
It's gonna be a nat 20 too.
I rolled a 7.
7 beats the target number of 6. All right,
Okay.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Deborah just kind of uncoils her little seahorse tail a little bit to kind of like take a more relaxed posture. It's Bahari, right? You're over in main R&D on the Coralite floor, right? You know what? I'm being ridiculous. She just kind of stows her little tablet and the sort of chit she was using to manipulate. Just kind of turns and just you have like her full attention. What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
I want to talk to you especially because of how you're excelling in processes. You're super aware of how we can determine the length of a life of energy resource based on how quickly it processes from the beginning of the cycle to the end. And the big thing what we're doing, right? What we're doing in the Coralite lab is trying to determine if we can prolong that cycle and see if we can actually increase the output of the Coralite that we're getting so that therefore we're getting more energy for less labor, which is always the overall goal. But I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know Topsided, they always want to have their cake and eat it too. It's they want more efficiency and they want more output. Yeah,
exactly. But when you really look at the raw data, from your opinion, do you think that it's actually possible? And I know this is controversial to say because we're supposed to be continuing to work towards the goal, but if you've seen it, is that really something we can do?
That's difficult. Not without putting so much stress on the actual loci of the natural resources that we risk irreparable overextension, if that makes sense. Did you have something in mind?
I was just really trying to get to the bottom of some equations that just weren't adding up as to if it's possible to maintain the current course without hitting that irreparable damage. Like even if we do.
Oh, did Jay freeze?
Oh,
no!
No!
It's one of two things.
Oh, I am
Either laptop
holding my breath.
I'm not gonna do that.
All right,
Good.
y'all.
Me
I had your
either.
back, Stella.
I definitely didn't do
All
that.
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. BRB.
I'm gonna say there's a prolonged few seconds of eye contact, and you get the very clear sort of facial expression shift that lets you know that she's kind of picking up what you're putting down a little bit, and the response comes slowly and very deliberately. See, these are the kinds of problems that if you beat your head against them for too long, that'll just drive you up the wall. This is why I spend my time over in photosynthetics. I'm more interested in alternative energy sources. Because sometimes you just can't balance that equation, you know? Listen, if you want to talk about this more sometime, I really do have to get back to these culture reports, but I can get you my private terminal address. We could talk about this more, maybe when we both have more time.
All right, thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
Thanks for reaching out. She's going to take her little snacking lunch and her tablet and just kind of in that very sort of stilted seahorse way, just kind of like jaunt through the cafeteria.
Well, she gave me her number. It's something.
Yeah. You're slowly building up in as careful a way as you can a list of potentially sympathetic people in the office. Yeah. Not sure what you can do, not necessarily actionable yet, but maybe a little encouraging.
Like she definitely knows what's going on, but is also being as careful as everybody else is.
Everybody in the office has been cagey. Even identifying someone, like you said, who might also recognize the sort of unsustainability of what you're doing puts you at risk of kind of outing yourself. So
yep.
We leave Bahari kind of putting those little feelers out. And meanwhile, Calliope, ever since you revealed your face to a Valthuran Marine, your ability to freely move about the city has been curtailed. There are security checkpoints at every C-tram station. There are submersible tanks that make patrols throughout an ever-widening portion of the city. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to keep your activities undetected by Imperial eyes and ears. So Well, I mean, still, there's none of this is anything compared to, what likely awaits you on the other side of a heist on a major broadcast station. So in these final days and hours before you risk becoming truly infamous, what measures do you take to prepare?
It seems a little irresponsible, but I think Calliope's been utilizing the best tool that they've found so far. Not tool necessarily, but rather assistance. I would say that Calliope is probably on the way now to help out a couple. In fact, they're on the way to help out someone who just making a house call to a striking worker. But just as little scouts, they've already enlisted the help of the street urchins.
Yes. Oh, you definitely have. The most uncanny quintet of little spiny headed urchins. True Dickensian, just like
Dickensian youth.
Youth. Always looking like they're just smudged with like little chimbley sweeps. They have a way of just kind of sticking all the little spiny heads together in a big clump and just kind of letting the current drift them around the city to do whatever inscrutable deeds that they do. But yeah, you've definitely forged a bit of a rapport with this little gaggle of weirdos. What errand have you put them on in the lead up to the heist?
Mostly securing very basic materials, not for Calliope's needs. They're already pretty stocked, although they have been thankful to receive some extra batteries every now and then, because just like leading up to the day of the parade, they've been a few nights without a real charge, just spare batteries. But they're stocked up. Rather, they're having the street urchins sort of run around and pick up things that they can find from bigger department stores that can afford it. So things like bandages, things like certain medicines, and also just sort of scanning the streets, as Calliope's had to swim about to make certain house calls and has been doing more medical triage in alleyways and behind dumpsters. They've definitely needed and appreciated the extra hand of like some little kid running out, checking if the coast is clear and running back and being like, go, go, go. So
yeah, you've been, again, tensions haven't quite sort of boiled over into an actual strike. It's just that, when it comes to the massive Coralite refinery complex in the north end of town, I mean, it employs so many of the people that work kind of in that district, so many of the sort of working class in the top sort of northern half of the city, that like, I think just the sheer scale that a strike like that would entail has, I think, everyone on edge in terms of like what that would mean for not just the people who would dare to take that kind of labor action, but also the communities that surround them. So I understand that you'd be definitely trying to go around and like rustle up as much goodwill and like you said, readying medical triage, spreading around necessary sort of like basic medical supplies that people would need to stockpile in case they're trying to like form a picket line. Go ahead though and roll just like let's make a fate roll. Just like roll a d20 and tell me what you get here, and I'll determine just how good a haul of these street urchins will be bringing back to you.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. On a 5.
Some pocket money.
And now we yes, and now we and.
I'm going to say that the urchins are successful in doling out the supplies you've given them, but have not struck upon any like mother loads of like really high end tech or anything that could be useful to you. Instead, they're mainly being used as a courier service for you at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, in the sort of on the day of, as you're kind of going to make your way back to the Lonely Light where everyone is readying themselves for tonight's little bit of direct action, is there any last minute thing you'd like to do?
In preparation for this heist?
Yeah.
Yes, actually. My designation is VNO 5822. I want to find out where the other 5/8 class androids are being stationed, if there are, and if there are any expected where we're headed.
Oh, fun. Okay. In order to do this, you would need to have access, legitimate or otherwise, to like a main line, like connected to like connected through cables, like to the actual mainframe of the Valthuran computer system. I will say that can be a goal of yours. Okay. But outside of, if you wanted to, in the meantime, before any sort of action is taken, kind of just put feelers out and see if anyone else has any sightings.
Yeah.
Let's make that more of a sort of like information gathering intellect task. Let's say difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4. Okay. So we're gonna use that intellect, and we're 4. I'm going to use a little bit of effort.
Okay. You're going to apply effort here, taking some points out of your intellect pool to lower the difficulty from 4 to 3. That makes the target number you have to roll on the d20 a 9 instead of a 12.
It's easy because it's about to be a 20. So, well,
and that's a 9.
A 9.
That's basically
a 9.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this out in the form of you've had the urchins ask around while they've been delivering the sort of triage supplies, bandages to all of the sort of labor organizers in the North End. As they come back, the general sort of status of on the front of, has anyone seen anyone like you? The response is pretty clear. Well, no one's seen anyone quite like you. Calliope, I got to say, did you get lost? Are you looking? Is this going to be some heartwarming family reunion you're looking to have?
No, definitely not. And don't you dare tell them that I'm looking for them.
Oh, good. It's a good thing that we didn't say that to no one, then, that it was you what was asking about it. That's a great...
Thank you for asking. That was very, very kind and thoughtful of you to ask.
And congratulations on, I'm going to say you dodged a bullet then, yeah?
Yes. I wish I had a group of cool androids just like you lot, have a cool group of urchins to hang out with, but sadly, I'm the only android like me, as far as I know.
The most diminutive of the urchins, wearing a little newsboy cap and with like just a little sprig, with like a toothpick in his mouth, just kind of like rolls it around in his teeth and says, "Yeah, that's right. Nobody like us."
Your voice is deeper than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be honest.
I got that a lot. I do.
Right. I really do appreciate the information.
We'll keep our eyes out though, and if we get anybody whispering about anything, we'll make sure it was you. And if it weren't you, we'll tell you it weren't you, and then that will be bad news, but we'll tell you anyway.
I think I followed. Yes, exactly.
Great. They stick all their heads together again, just kind of like flutter their little legs up, catch a current, and waft off.
Calliope just like walks off and like is swirling a little capsule of oil. Kids.
Yeah, no, very typical of children. They're always doing that. We'll go ahead and leave Calliope as they make their way toward the Lonely Light this evening. Let's move to Bunk. Bunk, you've spent a fair few nights now sequestered away in the unique quarters that were provided to you by your friend and accomplice, Risubi. you're no stranger to taking big risks and having to go to ground until things blow over, but still pretty strange accommodations even for you. Well, tonight you're going to be making the clandestine trip back to your old stomping grounds at the Lonely Light before you all sort of convene and begin your first heist here. But before you steel yourself for your biggest job yet, do you have any last minute preparations you'd like to make? Any stops about town? Any curiosities you want to indulge?
Yes, absolutely. When we ended last session, the note I left on was I am trying to figure out every single possible thing I can about Rasubi, given that I'm basically in a dry land bubble in this apartment hideout. And yeah, I wasn't sure if the rest of the team had taken this into account, but it would probably be good to understand the rounds that security make at the TV station. So I, at least maybe the night before, would have tried to sneak out and go stake that place out to see what kind of schedule the night watchmen are on.
You're going to try and case the joint, basically.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You said it way cooler than me.
Oh, by the way, Kappa, can you give us just like a little refresher as to the accommodations that Rasubi has supplied for Bunk?
Yeah, I can do that. So we went through a bunch of corridors and stuff, lots of industrial piping and all that, like definitely not meant to be traversed through, but we were able to squeeze past a bunch of, infrastructure, to put it best. And we came up through this shaft filled with water into a hidden room. Not terribly big, but there's enough here to hold a cabinet, small couch, few chairs, and in the cabinet are piles and piles of little bagged snackies, pretzels, nuts, stuff that you might find in an airport.
Yeah, and
crackers.
Like, lots of like the free sample size, like the little like tiny plastic individually wrapped bag of 5 peanuts. Yeah,
yes, like stockpiled.
So, since Rasubi, if I remember right, basically told me for sure don't go out this door that you left out of, but it kind of seemed like the intention was for me to just lay low until it was time to move.
So on either side of this room, so you would come up through this hole, and then to the left and to the right wall, there's a door on each side. To the left wall, there is where Rasubi would have directed you to go through if you ever needed to exit, and then enter. That way you're not entering and exiting out this through the same area. It'll spit you out somewhere. I don't know, Adam, if you would like to describe where Bunk would be exiting, but through the right door, I would have definitely told you never to go through there, and it is locked. As far as if you've ever tried it, it is locked. And whenever you're here, whenever Rasubi brings you here, or if you're here, Rasubi immediately disappears behind that door.
And yeah, just as far as where the sort of labyrinth of other sort of tunnels and ventilation shafts and like utility tunnels and stuff where those let out, this is all taking place inside the Oasis, this massive sort of stone pillar in the center of the city, into which is built a lot of the sort of like municipal and administrative buildings, and out of which rises the torch, that massive tube that funnels all of the refined coralite energy up to the surface world. And I will say that no matter which sort of twists or turns you take, Bunk, as you make your way out through any door other than that one on the right, there's countless little sort of like ventilation hubs or sort of like exhaust pipes that are just kind of like a part of the sort of air filtration and recycling systems of the interior sort of dry land portions of the Oasis that you basically are able to kind of like wiggle worm your way out into like some portion of this massive sort of structure at the center of town.
Sure. So I will say, before I go case the joint, a buddy system has been better for me than not typically. So if Rasubi does ever come back, I would kind of wait until it was about time for this to all go down, like the night before, and kind of wait for you to come back to this pad we're crashing at.
Sure. Yeah. I think something that I would do if right before we do this is I'll come in through the right side door, and in the appendages, not the giant fist appendages that I have, I'm holding a sack and what looks like a giant bulb.
Now you either got a very good idea and you're about to hold that up over your head, or there's something I don't know about.
These are for you. I noticed you were uncomfortable, and it is quite frigid in these accommodations. I have procured a heat lamp. And I will also, while I pass you the heat lamp, I also pass you this sort of knapsack of stuff. I also know you have not been eating as many of the provided snacks. I have found you some dried crickets.
Now, where in hell's bells did you find dried crickets and manage to keep them dry under here?
If you look inside the bag, I'll point inside, like, to open the bag. It's very much the same way. It's like sealed in a plastic little baggie, like airport snacks
with like a chip clip.
Yeah. Yeah. Please do not ask me how I was able to procure these.
It's interesting. I don't hear many other folk from Maribest mentioning how cold it is down here. You cold, Rasubi?
I keep track. We are next to the Dry Mall, as it is known. These things are not so hard to find.
And you're a collector of topside antiquities.
If that is what you wish to believe. A collector.
If that is what you need me to believe until you can speak more freely, then I will oblige.
I hope these make it so you feel comfortable in these accommodations.
Thank you. It is very cold down here, and I do miss the warmth of the sun. How fortunate for me that you should know just what I need.
How fortunate.
Is there an outlet for me to plug in my heat lamp?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yay!
How many extension cords does Risubi keep in this weird dry apartment?
Oh, yeah. I'd say at this point, you would notice an extension cord coming out the bottom of the door that I just came through.
There's a power strip. It's got like an Xbox.
Yeah. I think something that something that Bunk would notice is that I didn't come through the hole in the floor.
Okay.
When I brought these things to you.
Did you come through the forbidden door?
The forbidden door. The west wing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The West Wing.
You should have been in the West Wing. Yeah. Then I will plug in my lamp and just for a second just warm my little hands up because this place sucks.
It's been so long. I'm not gonna put you in a corner here, Trout, and ask you to tell us how long it's been since Bunk has felt the sun on their skin, but this is a rare treat.
So, tomorrow is the big day. Did you have plans?
I was hoping. It seemed as though tomorrow's well locked in hand. We know what we're doing and who's going where, but I don't think anyone's set foot in that station. We don't know what sort of firepower we're dealing with, what we're coming up against, and we don't know what their guard rotations are like. And as risky as it is, and I'm sure Calliope will roll their eyes and Berengaria will worry, and someone's got to go check.
You wish to be prepared.
I wish to remain free. I suppose they're synonymous in this case. Would you care to join me?
I look around. I am very free tonight. You have my services.
I take a very satisfied bite of crickets. Well, too sweet. I'm ready if you are. You need anything to eat? Any snacks? You like crickets?
I see what you are trying to do.
No, I'm just offering a meal to a friend.
I have already eaten.
What'd you have? Was it good?
I'll just look over at the pile of peanuts and mixed nuts. I had that, maybe.
And Bunk continuing to just lobby, lobbing a bunch of jabs at Risuvi, just trying to catch him.
It's like a 50-50 chance whether or not you get an answer.
I love it.
So you want to make your way over to the Marabas Network Broadcast Station headquarters, the site of your upcoming heist tomorrow night. If you want to make your way there inconspicuously, unseen, I'm going to need each of you to make speed task rolls, difficulty 4. Now, this is a situation where one of you can make a roll and the other one can be helping if only one of you wants to get close enough to try and really get eyes on this place.
What do you think?
I think if you want to, I think it would be helpful if I was there to have eyes on. So I'm willing to roll separately here.
Sure, let's do it. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to expend effort, Adam, to lower this.
Okay, level of effort is going to reduce this at the cost of 3 speed points minus edge. It's going to take this down from level 4 to level 3.
Beautiful.
I will do the same.
Okay. So 9 on the die will get you guaranteed close enough to get some valuable information without drawing attention.
Got it. Oh, I rolled the target number
for the second
9.
time.
Look at us.
Who would have thought? 11.
All right. Okay. Both of you have to really have your wits about you. You focus down hard, and you have to move towards now. This is a building that is located not in the very heart of downtown. This isn't near the Oasis itself. This is a little bit further afield in the Maxilla district in the southeast sort of quadrant of the city. Now, what makes this particular location useful to the studio is the fact that the broadcast station itself is built into the sort of hollowed out core of what was a sort of robust cluster of basalt columns. This was chosen for its remarkable resilience and also its acoustics. As you approach, this is going to be in a city block that, I mean, it's easily the largest and most conspicuous design in terms of the architecture here. It is the sort of the clearly most important building in like a 3-block radius. There's a facade to this structure which is sculpted in the appearance of like a gigantic upright clamshell, which sports a massive neon sign that spells out the station's call sign in Sonaspari script. I will tell you this much because you would be made acutely aware of it by your careful approach. The block outside this station is patrolled by a standard squad of Valthuran Marines, which would be 12 infantry divided into 3 fire teams of 4. And anything else you want to learn about the exterior, anything you want to learn about vectors of approach or additional sort of security measures would require additional rolls.
The patrol is going just sort of like circumnavigating the building, or do we have topside patrols too?
3 teams of 4 are basically stationed, and basically they rotate on a pretty set schedule. They are not guarding specifically this building, but they are basically moving in a sort of grid throughout the sort of like 3x3 block area, giving you wide sort of like timetables where you could conceivably move in unseen. You just have to time it right, and you'd have to observe them long enough to understand like what their movements are so that you can get a sense of when the clear gaps show up.
That's definitely what I'm here for.
Okay.
And then just basically trying to figure out when is the longest gap possible. And then I have a couple ideas for how to get us in there as fast as we can, hopefully unnoticed. It might involve a school of tuna.
Incredible. Yeah, so if you want to like let's say for Bunk then that's going to be a perception sort of check here. It's going to be an intellect roll.
Sure.
Difficult. And let's say depending on your roll, there are multiple difficulties that you could beat that I will kind of tell you basically gated based on how high your roll is, what you see and what you don't.
What's my target number?
That's what I'm telling you. There is no target. You tell me what you roll, and I'll tell you which things you beat and which things you do not.
Gross. All right, I'm gonna expend all my effort here because this feels extremely consequential.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and.
Can I help boost the number? Not necessarily to reduce the difficulty, but boost the number with, or would I have to make separate rolls and stuff?
I know I like that actually because
Okay.
because I'm bending the rules a little bit here, but there's like multiple sort of like passes.
Yeah.
If you want to help out using your keen perception, you have like you have a keen eye. You have the ability to observe weaknesses and like high detail at long distance. Normally that would be something you could use to lower the difficulty of a task by 1, but instead we'll say it increases the number on your roll by 3.
By 3, cool. And would in this case would expending my effort do the same then, because I'm kind of basically building instead?
Exactly.
Awesome. So we'll basically be adding 6 to whatever I do here. Beautiful. All right, here we go. So 13.
Nice.
On a 13, understood.
Yeah, it's a 7 plus 6.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. You notice several things. I will tell you right now, one of the most immediately sort of like obvious additional security measure you take note of, there is a floodlight, like a spotlight that kind of strafes and drags along the street on an irregular sort of schedule. And you can't get a clear shot, a clear line of sight to see what the source of the spotlight is. There is some kind of submersible vehicle of considerable size, possibly it could be manned or unmanned, that is surveying the area for suspicious activity. You do not get anything more than the fact that it is there. It seems to be circling a wide area and has multiple spotlights that it's just kind of like doing a dragnet of the wider area, and it will complicate timing somewhat.
I'm going to call upon my Cypher, a flashback to when I've been in this situation before.
Okay.
Yes.
For the record, for everyone watching here, for the purposes of this heist, every single one of the party members gets 1 cipher, which they can make use of. It is an intangible sort of narrative tool. Each of them can one time basically do a flashback to a moment that is relevant, and they can basically backload a scene that gives them information or the tools they will need in the moment. So when we flash back forward, they're in a better situation. So yeah, tell me about it. What situation is this?
There was a specific time when I needed to break back into the Palace of Urati Lascaris a long time ago. And I used specifically the aid of sea life that are able to camouflage themselves to look like the seafloor. I learned a little bit about how to kind of blend in with my surroundings and kind of belly crawl under very similar searchlights. Whether through the aid of these actual sea creatures or just kind of understanding where to place myself so that I blend in with the sand and the rocks. And I'm hoping that's something I can teach my friends, the few of us that go.
Okay.
With the aid of my friend Bahari, who can just do this.
I'm going to say, instead of just expending this cipher, we're going to go ahead and replace it. You have used this cipher to flash back to a time when, at an earlier phase in your life, when you were moving in very strange circles, when you were inhabiting spaces that your current circle of friends could only imagine, you had access to certain resources and certain experiences that are going to make this level of infiltration child's play. Go ahead and convert this flashback cipher into a perfection cipher.
Ooh, heck. Cool.
For one, when activated, you can activate it when you make any kind of stealth-based task roll, and you will basically not have to roll, and it will be a nat 20.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be pointing out to Rasubi certain places where we could specifically like bend our bodies to look like a shadow cast on a rock, kind of joining the shadows and moving like those like little mantas and stuff that can lay on the ocean floor and do that.
I will say also with that 13, you do notice a couple other little things. Both Risubi and Bunk, I'm going to say, like, Risubi, you have the ability to kind of, you're very perceptive at distance. Bunk, you have your scope. So you, like, we're kind of zooming into, like, Bunk's field of view here. We're looking through the sniper scope as you're just kind of, like, taking a sort of survey of the main entrance. The main entrance uses a set of revolving doors that lead into a foyer that lets out into basically the main floor, which is a reception floor. You can see, even from your sort of little perch on the opposite side of this large street, that this entryway, this sort of reception floor, is surveilled at all times by a security camera affixed to the far wall above the main reception desk.
Ooh.
You can also, I'm just basically going to tell you everything you can see the main floor perfectly on a 13. This is a tall open chamber with roughly hexagonal footprint. Basically, it's like a hexagonal chamber that's separated into two vertical levels. There's a lower level where there's the reception desk with a single security camera above it. And then behind that reception desk, all along the far wall, is just this meticulously maintained coral gardens, and there are little tiny schools of domesticated fish. But above the reception area, there's basically these sort of tubes that connect up to these glass encased chambers, which each basically are identical and contain a single elevator, as well as each one of them seems to have access corridors that lead to some other chamber that you cannot see. But you do see that there are two Valthuran naval infantry that patrol this level, watching the main entrance from atop the sort of curved glass ramps. And they do appear to be kind of supplementing the fact that there's that security camera. So you basically have three potential threats just on this first floor, as well as what looks like a reception area with a computer system and two elevators.
At least it's something we can relay to the others. Calliope can probably handle the camera. If not, I'm a pretty crack shot.
I believe I might be able to help with that as well.
Are you going to punch the camera, Rasubi?
In a sense.
In any other sense other than your fist is going to collide with the camera?
I just believe that Calliope's skills will be better used elsewhere. Do not worry about the camera.
All right, plan B is I'm going to shoot the hell out of the camera.
Please conserve your ammo.
Fine. And I got the guards.
I can promise I will not punch it.
You misunderstand me. I love when you break Valthuran technology and faces with your fists.
It is satisfying.
Well, unless there's any more sort of, unless you want to try and probe deeper or take additional risks here, that's what you're going to be able to kind of get from this sort of case in the joint from across the street situation.
I'm pretty satisfied. Getting in seems like way the hardest part, and I think we can convene with the group now about that if you're happy with it, Christian.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to say that they want to play out or have done? Anything you want to bring to the table? Any resources you want to expend before we move on to the night of the heist? Are we good? I think we're good. All right.
Let's go.
Well then, at long last, we return to the Lonely Light Bar. After hours. Back of house. Rhoda, the unofficial sort of curmudgeonly aunt of your assembled rebels, she has cleared the kitchens as best she can. She's left a large sort of unpolished restaurant prep table clear for your use in the center room. The center of the room, rather. There's a single, just kind of occasionally flickering fluorescent bulb affixed to the ceiling of the kitchens here, just kind of harshly illuminating the space. Just kind of lazily swings back and forth with the current that's stirred up by the rooftop filter. We join you all as you gather in this space, all but silent save for the soft thrumming of the filtration fans. And Rhoda is busying herself in the front of house as the five of you here kind of reconvene. How do you all greet each other here? What's the vibe as you all have kind of gathered on your, in your own time, filtering in not all at once so as to be less conspicuous? Now you're all together here. How's the vibe?
Who wants second slices of my kelp pie?
I am shaking my head. I haven't even touched the one that was laid in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just spoiled for crickets. I'm sorry, Berengari. I couldn't eat another bite.
Oh, that's okay. I can make some to-go baggies.
This is vital to bring with us on the journey. You are correct. Please do prep those. So to review, Rasubi and I got the lay of the land a bit. We can tell you a bit about what sort of defenses we're expecting at the radio tower, but I just want to confirm. Was the plan that we're all sticking together and getting into the broadcast tower together, or are some of us going to lock up in Repelia to free the prisoners?
We lost someone.
We'll be right back.
Oh. All right, and we are back. We are reconvening here the night of the group's very first heist. They have their plot is about to be set in motion to try and do a little bit of pirate radio to interrupt the sort of citywide broadcasting station and hijack the airwaves for their own purposes. As everyone has reconvened here at the Lonely Light Bar, the proprietor of the establishment and only slightly begrudging ally to the cause, the ever cautious and curmudgeonly Rhoda, does kind of make her appearance here, kind of swimming back and kind of shutting and locking the door to the back of house. And she sees all of you kind of gathered here around the table.
All right, well, I'm glad to see none of you skipped town. Not that I'd have blamed you with the bullshit you're gonna try and pull tonight.
It's all right if you considered it, Rhoda. No one holds it against you.
Well, me? No, I'm all in. Sorry about the mess back here. By the way, I'd have made some food, but Howell brought some of his buddies from second shift around for a nightcap and make plans to close the place down.
No.
Oh no.
No! Rhoda!
Rhoda, why did you do this to Bahari?
Oh no!
I mean,
So-
narratively speaking, this is kind of Bahari's thing. So,
Yeah, speaking purely in character, she
So-
does exist partially out of phase.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if anyone noticed, but Adam said for our own purposes, and I did say for our own porpoises, and no one got mad at me, and I needed the attention. So if someone could.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Everyone grown.
I pulled up keeplaughingforever.com's fish joke list. if
Oh,
want
you
one.
hero. You
Oh,
Do it.
wonderful.
do
Hell
indulge
yeah.
us.
What did the fish say when he hit the wall?
Oh no.
Oh god.
Damn.
Okay.
I was waiting for that to be more fun than it was.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
You're right. You're
It's
right.
good and perfect.
I messed up.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It only
We
inspired
should do another one just to make sure.
mild nihilism.
Why did the fish get bad grades?
They were all C's.
Didn't go to school.
Because it was below sea level. That's good too.
Oh.
I feel like
Oh.
everyone else's suggestions were
We're better
than the
a little
actual
bit.
punchline. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, I think the sea level one was better than mine. Mine makes sense, but you have to stretch a little bit.
Why did the fish blush?
Oh no.
I'm terrible at these.
I have
Because
no
it
idea.
saw the ocean's bottom.
Oh my god.
You said bottom. Z. This is a family show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're slowly getting Jay back.
All right, and we have returned again. So yes, we have the party all assembled in the back room, back of house at the Lonely Light Bar. The proprietor has joined them here. Rhoda seems kind of skittish, a little on edge. Definitely has not been looking forward to this theoretical heist becoming a reality. However, it doesn't mean she's not going to put every meager resource she has on the table. And to wit, there is an old, looks like a barely functional sort of hollow projector. It's been magnetically attached to the tabletop here at the old, this sort of like sous chef's prep table, which has seen some better days. Now it has like this sort of old tech kind of magnetically sealed to the top of it. It looks like a pretty out-of-date model, maybe even from the maybe the inaugural years of the Valthuran occupation of Sonaspar. And it's got this jury-rigged, clearly visible wiring that makes it apparent that it's probably been repaired well beyond its intended shelf life. Rhoda kind of swims over and she's struggling to get it operational. Eventually, she gives into her frustration, just kind of whacks it with a big downward slap from her tail fin. This apparently was exactly what it needed, and the unit sputters to life and begins projecting a hazy turquoise 3D image revolving above the table here in the middle of your sort of gathered circle, showing the exterior of the MNBS headquarters.
Yes, it's not exactly like, being there yourself, but, we'll have to make do. So unfortunately, this one image is all I got. I mean, that little hearsay, about the floor plan. So unless you all got something to add, you'll be swimming by the fringy of fins.
Rasubi and I got to pay the tower a visit. Get a little bit of the light, at least to the front door. 3 patrols of 4. There are gaps in the patrols, thankfully. There's a huge spotlight. There are a couple easy ways to break through. Camouflage will be our best friend here. Bahari, that might mean that you might be best served on the radio tower team if you're comfortable risking it. I know it'd make you quite visible.
That I'd foreseen as well. And the key is to not be visible.
In a pinch, I can do it. I have used similar camouflaging techniques before to get to places where I ought not have been. But if you can do it, there's someone in the Repelia Tower prison that I have a personal stake in freeing, and I think I could be on that team.
I think I can do it, and I want to free you up to do something that's important to you. It sounds like it's really important.
It's kind of you. Thank you. And I do understand the risk you are taking, and it means a lot to us.
Well, I think that perhaps I should go with Bunk. I feel like that they would, it would be less likely that I would be spotted or expected there than at the tower. And I've got a disguise.
Just so I understand,
Yeah.
did Berengaria just put a blanket on?
It's a seaweed cloak, yes.
It's all kelp for Berengaria.
Berengaria's whole world has been kelp for
So
like
good.
4 days.
That's good.
Well, first of all, thank you for saving me the trouble of asking you, because I was hoping you would come with me. Second of all, I do love it.
It is not
But-
good.
Well,
That doesn't mean we can't love it, Rasubi, but in
it's
this
all right, because I've made a matching one for you, Bunk, and I haven't quite finished yours, Rasubi, so it's all right. There's time for adjustments.
as an alternative plan, the last time I did break into the Repelia Tower on the day of the parade, I don't know if I told you all about that.
No.
Sorry. I was able to go into the facility in one of the laundry pickup vehicles. They're pretty easy to commandeer. And I do not believe the gentleman whose garments and truck I acquired has told anyone that I did so. So we might be able to do it again.
Hey.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind here. I was wrapped up for a moment in the fact that Berengaria, honey, you know what? This is the least upsetting thing you've done with kelp since you've moved in.
Thank you.
Oh, oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
If
no.
if this be our last day, at least that's a hell of a line to go out on.
Oh man.
Oh no, my kelp has knocked Bahari unconscious again.
That is some strong
it keeps
kelp.
happening. Maybe I should
Kelp.
stop cooking with kelp.
You're cooking it too hard. It's just slapping people left and right.
Well,
I think we should focus on buttoning up the pre-heist plans for
Sure.
tonight and maybe end early.
Good idea.
that's
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Adam, can you tell people you're breathing a sigh of relief because you didn't have prison plans?
I will say I thought these were consecutive, not concurrent heists. So I was like,
Oh.
oh hell yeah. Everybody's good
this is fair.
yeah, but regardless, no, I'm very cool with that. We're kind of just we're getting the full plan for these kind of laid out. Let's see. So when we get Jay back, then we'll in character work out who's going where, what you're trying to accomplish, and what resources you're pooling to do it. And we will just come out sort of guns blazing when we reconvene.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Alright.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
In the meanwhile,
Yeah.
I'm a mantis shrimp in the ocean. AMA.
Okay, before we do that, I have a question for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not actually doing that. I'm just saying.
All right. This is a spicy question. All right. Imagine you take someone out to dinner, right?
Yeah.
You pay for dinner. You get a big appetizer. You order a main and you order the other person a main, right? You're too full. You both have leftovers, right? And you go home. Fast forward 36 hours, right? You're hungry. Is it okay that you eat the other person's leftovers without asking them?
Ooh, okay.
You did buy dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
That's
Is this... I think it depends on the relationship with the person that I'm buying dinner for. If it's like a
Right.
roommate, I would not. You know,
Okay.
like if it's someone that I is
If
like
it's my dad.
if it's my partner or if it's my mom, you know, I think it's okay. We'll get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. How much can go unspoken in this relationship, because that because if it's if it's that deep already, then I feel like it's something that it's trivial, right?
Hmm.
How much was the meal?
Oh, good
What
question.
did they order?
Yeah, there you go. That's probably a better question than how much money did you spend on this meal?
Because if this is like just something that's not going to be great after
half a
36
burger.
hours. No, I don't want it.
No, you eat. Yeah, no, that burger is it belongs to whoever ate it after 3 days
Yeah.
in the fridge.
Cool. I'm gonna feel very justified. Nice. I didn't ask. I just ate it. I was like, they're in a meeting and I'm hungry. Sorry, Dad. Yum.
I'm just gonna pour some whiskey into this coffee.
No. Okay, so Jay, welcome back. We've decided to just try to button things up for tonight, and then we'll worry about the role play of the actual heist next time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
don't
it's
be
good.
sorry. Please
Sorry.
don't be sorry.
It's fine.
It's really okay.
Adam wanted more time to prep the prison. We're in great shape for this, actually.
Okay. I was like, I ruined everything.
No,
Not
no,
even a
you
little
dare.
bit.
Not even a little.
This is
Without
gonna
you,
be
it's
the
fish
funniest.
jokes. We're happy you're here.
You know, I'm actually
Oh,
gonna
no,
ask.
no.
I'm gonna ask my editor to keep all this in.
Yay!
It's gonna be hilarious.
Just for you two.
The
Oh,
in
boy.
tandem change of attitude once we all learned it was half a burger. Like,
Ah.
Okay, Adam, please take it away.
All right. So, we are we've reconvened here with Rhoda basically trying to get a grip on what the hell Berengaria was doing with all of the kelp in the back storage room. But also in a broader sense, she kind of perks up and addresses everybody.
All right, so I mean, I was aware that we were trying to. I knew that there was when we were going to hit the radio station. We were going to go to the broadcast headquarters because you were going to get the message out. The whole point was you're going to rally. You're going to rally the support of as many people as possible. Keep people informed about what's going on in the North End. Where the hell are you going, punk?
Berengaria and I think at the course of the night we'll decide if someone else is with us or not. We are going to Repelia Tower to stage a prison break.
Simultaneously.
All the while, I believe the plan is for our broadcast to try to convince the Valthurans that we're going to try and hit a weapons depot instead.
It is a great distraction.
And also the right thing to do, and you know that full well, Rhoda. Half them people locked up in there didn't do nothing at all.
You don't think I know that?
And the other half were jaywalking. Jay swimming.
Jay swimming. They're just swimming in jays. It's disconcerting.
Why is that illegal?
They followed the law down to the letter.
I can't with y'all.
That's not even a fish joke.
Not.
No, terrible.
All right.
It's a Sesame Street joke.
Today's episode of Brine Blight is brought to you by the letter J.
Jay.
Okay. So, just so
yeah,
just so that we're all on the same page, then, Risubi, Calliope, and Bahari.
Oh, we
Are
haven't
going
decided
to-
that yet.
we have
Oh,
not
okay.
decided that
Yeah,
yet.
I was gonna say, I think at some point Rusubi would just be like, would turn to Calliope and just say, I believe at least you or I, being more technically inclined, should go to the tower, and the other to assist with the prison.
Are you able to carry our message, Rasubi? Because Calliope was going to take down the recording from all of us and play it there.
We will
actually-
have time to finish your kelp cloak. If you want to come with us.
Oh Lord, okay.
We cannot look like 3 traveling kelp salesmen in ponchos. We do have to look like we belong there, Berengaria. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, we can save them for another time then.
There will definitely be an occasion. I assure you.
I can go to the prison. If you are able to go to the tower, Calliope.
Yes, I think me and Bahari, though neither of us are fighters, we should have it covered.
I think that if any of you get in a fight, I think probably, look at it this way. Whoever goes to the broadcast station, you got to get in and you got to get out. Undetected if possible. Everybody who goes to the prison, I mean, your way out should be covered. You're trying to bust everybody out of there. That's enough of a distraction for anybody to get clear. I think it's going to be harder to thread that needle going in and out unseen. So, yeah, I think you made the right choice, Ristubi. I think that, yeah, a little more conspicuous. Conspicuous ain't going to be a problem when everybody's going to be throwing punches on the way out.
Calliope, I don't know if I want you and Bahari going alone. You need somebody willing to kill somebody for one. No offense.
Taken. I don't think we do. I think if we have to split up one way, well, we can't split Rasubi in two. So
I'm willing to go with you to the tower if Berengaria and Rasubi could help find someone. You should at least have someone watching your backs.
If you would like. But you know the way into the prison. Apparently. Better than the rest of us, so.
So it looks like we have 2 people dedicated to going to the broadcast station, 2 people dedicated to going to the prison, and Bunk needs to determine where they are most needed.
Yeah.
Bunk.
Yeah.
I think you should come with us to the prison. I think we can trust the others to do what needs to be done.
Okay, it wasn't a matter of that. I just didn't want anyone to get... This was my stupid idea. I just don't want anyone to get hurt because I left them hanging out to dry.
I mean, trust is more than just willingness. It's also a leap of faith in their skill and their ability and their judgment of themselves.
I know you are right. I just haven't had to ask anyone else to do this. It was just my life up until this point, Berengaria. Do you know what I mean?
It's a leap of faith.
And if we get caught, they'll probably throw Bahari in prison anyway. So, you're already there to help around. With me, it'd be a little different, but I won't fuck it up.
You have a fried circuit if you think I'm not coming for you if they take you.
Thank you.
Those communicators that I gave you all, they don't work over that long a distance. Each team is going to be able to communicate with each other. But prison team isn't going to be able to be chatting it up with broadcast team. So if shit does go sideways, y'all are going to have to figure out some way of... How will we know if one of you is made?
We'll know if the broadcast team is made because the broadcast will probably not go off.
I believe I have amended that situation. And I'm going to use my flashback.
Yes!
I'm going to use my flashback. As Rasubi says this, I believe I may have amplified the signal from the devices you gave us to communicate, and it'll flash back, and I think what we see is Rasubi enter his workshop, and it's completely dark. And you see flashes of light as the figure of Rusubi is at a workbench, and the silhouette kind of flashes as things are moving around and stuff, but you can't really see what's going on the desk. And then the lights in the workshop, you hear a tiny like clap, and the lights will start turning on as wait, hold on, give me one sec. I'm messaging someone in the chat really quick. I should have cleared this because I just had this idea right now.
Oh. Cool.
Never mind. Okay. That's okay. We can get it next time, but I do want this to be the point. The lights in the workshop turn on, and you see it is lined with lots of trinkets and doodads and like tools, screwdrivers, soldering iron, all that stuff. And if we pan around to see what Rusubi is working on, Rusubi is actually standing limp, head bowed over, and you see on the desk a squirrel working on the equipment that was given for communication. This squirrel is in a wetsuit, and it has a little tiny visor, and is just tinkering away, putting in little components and messing out with like swapping in and out little tiny microchip boards and whatnot. And then when we cut back to the bar, Rusubi, as you know him, his chest opens up and out swims a little squirrel, handing out to everyone little tiny earpieces. And you hear from the Rusubi head, like the mantis shrimp, "I apologize for hiding so long," as a little light on the squirrel's neck kind of flashes as this voice is coming through. "My name is Rusubi. These should help us communicate."
And with that, we're gonna fade to black, and we will pick up with our next episode as a dual heist kicks off in the shadow of this revelation. Oh my god.
Wow.
The music timing was unreal.
I heard it and I was like, oh, I've limited time on this. Let's do this.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay. If everyone's okay with it, we'll just button up for the evening here with the outros.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
can you please start us off, Christian?
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely. Hello, my name is Kappa, but Christian is okay and also encouraged. You can find me on Twitter at the Kappa Chris, also on Hive, and you can find me in a bunch of other places, but those two are the where I will post all the projects and everything. But notably, something that is I'm on regularly is a podcast called Roads Uncharted, the first actual play set in the Genesis system by Fantasy Flight Games. It's this nice, fun, cozy, whimsical adventure that I play with Dax, a GM Dax, and Ren, a thorny dryad. Everywhere you can find your favorite podcast. I think, that's all I want to plug. But I have played Rusubi, who is a perceptive warrior who needs no weapon, but also a perceptive warrior who sneaks. Yes.
Oh man, I'm gonna have some fun stuff set up for the production next week.
So good.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next we have Z.
Hey, I'm Z, or Zach. You can find me on Twitter at ZachDevs, on other social media, at places that you will find out next time that we air Brine Blight. I am a poet, writer, TTRPG performer, and slug dancer. So you can find me on Twitter and find out what I do, and maybe look forward to other things. But beyond that, just see me here on Tuesdays. Brine Blight.
Thank you. Jay?
Hi, I'm Jay Justice, and I usually have a decent camera, but everything is broken today. But it was really awesome playing with you guys. This was a session. You can find me at that Jay Justice on all the things.
Excellent. Thank you. Next we have TricksyWizard.
Hey.
Which one?
Yeah,
You go,
both.
Adam.
Same time. Hey, I'm Adam. My partner Trout and I make TricksyWizard. We are artists. We do comics. We do illustrations. We do now we are launching a Kickstarter in January for a card game called Witchy Cakes, for which we made all of the art in collaboration with our friends at Mage Hand Press, a towering game of cakes and chaos where you play as competing covens of whimsical witches trying to build the tallest, most magical cake. Do you want to take it from here, Trout? Yeah, pick it up.
Whoa, where were you going?
Where was I going? That's up to you now.
You can find us at TricksyWizard on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Hive, Mastodon. We're everywhere. And now that Witchy Cakes has an official Kickstarter date of January 16th, you'll be able to see a lot more art. We'll be posting as things get closer, hyping the heck out of it. I played Bunk, who's a brash sniper wanted by the law. They talk too much, they blow too many things up, and somehow their friends just don't get rid of them. And that's what I like about the game.
Yay. I'm Stelluna. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Please make sure you take care of yourselves. This has been a really rough holiday season for a lot of people, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And the kindest thing you can do is take care of yourself. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for some more Brine Blight. Please follow the channel, follow our YouTube. If you want more information on where you can find all these shows, you can check us out on Twitter at Stelluna TV. Yeah. And if you feel like it, get some Popeyes, because you deserve it, you know? All right. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Really means the world to us. We'll see you next time. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Wait. Swim. We need a fish pun or a water pun.
We had so many fish jokes.
Tuna in next time for Brine Blight next Tuesday.
Oh
Tune
my
in
God.
next time. Oh my.
I love it. Perfect.
That's it for me. I'm out of here.
That was amazing.
Bye.